This video is going to be about the foods that we eat and the condition of the foods that we put into our bodies. Alright, you might notice that I changed my name to In My God Body, which means within the figure of knowledge and curiosity of the God body. So on the 22nd, which I believe was last Wednesday, I decided to take on a fast. Alright, the first day of the fast, I ate around 5 to 6 p.m. I ate real light, just had some vegetables, and throughout the remainder of the day, I drank spring water with just a little lime in it. The second day, I broke my fast around 8 to 9 p.m. again, eating light, drinking a lot of water with a little lime in it. Around the second day, I started to notice the difference in the changes of it. My stomach had the hunger pangs in it, and I had to try to find a way to decline it. So the lemon water helped, the lime water helped with that a lot. Actually, what the hunger pangs is, when you hear your stomach growling, it's just basically your stomach lining trying to adjust itself. All right, and as it's adjusting itself, it's just shrinking, and as it's shrinking, it's trying to conform itself to whatever you may have in your stomach at that time, so it can nourish yourself. All right, so as long as you can find a way to curb this, just put something in there, and it would definitely assist with getting rid of those hunger pangs. But the hunger pangs are not necessarily a bad thing. You don't have to give the body the instant gratification of wanting to put something in it. This is actually a part of discipline as well. So on the second day, I did notice that I had no energy for anger to rid itself in the mental. I wasn't easily frustrated or flustered at anything. My brain was a whole lot more clear, and it was only operating in the form of obtaining knowledge. I felt more energized, and I did feel a lot more compassionate to my surrounding and those that were in it. So on the third and fourth day, I continued to fast, again, eating light, drinking the lime water to curb the hunger. And I started having a feeling of slipping into a spiritual existence. I was kind of on the fold of being on the verge of separating from the physical self. Things were just a whole lot more clearer to me. My understanding was all the way there. I actually just felt like I was a part of the nature. All right, my fast is still continuing. Today is day 7, and I'm noticing that I'm having a lot of mucus drainage. All right, I woke up this morning, my nose was just stopped up, and I'm just blowing all kind of snot out my nose, and the phlegm and the mucus or whatnot. I'm spitting it up. I'm starting to feel really cleansed. All right, so I want to talk about, for starters, the term cannibalism. Okay, the meaning of the word cannibal is the practice of humans eating the flesh or internal organs of other human beings. All right, a being, let me explain that, means the existence, living, or life. So now we have to understand that the term human was not originated until the 18th century, which is the late 1500s, early 1600s. So what happens if we remove the term humans out of this meaning of cannibalism, which is the practice of humans eating the flesh or internal organs of other human beings? All right. Now we know that the being is the existence, the living, and the life. So let me replace the word humans with life force. Life force meaning vitality, meaning life, or an active principle forming part of any living thing. So if I replace the term humans in the term cannibal, we would have the practice of a life force eating the flesh or internal organs of other human beings. Okay, so if this term humans was not in existence until the 18th century, what term were we using? We could be using beings, but at the same time, we do understand that beings pertain to life force. All right. All of these things that have a life force would be considered a being. Okay. So now if we replace it, we now have the practice of the life force eating the flesh or internal organs of other beings. Okay. This is just something to think about. I kind of tampered around with the meanings a little bit, just to get a clearer understanding of what we possibly could be doing to our bodies. All right, just because this term is broken down into cannibalism, we're operating on a language that was created to be deceptive. So we understand that a human is just a life force. All right, a human was something that was given to explain the origin of a certain man. All right, so I'm gonna break down the effects of meat on the body. The effects of meat, they cause a slow digestion, and these chemically altered substances, they take 1 to 3 days to complete a full digestion cycle. And just imagine if you eat this every day. You eat this every day. You eat one meal, you eat one steak. That one steak takes you 1 to 3 days to digest. So if you eat a hamburger for lunch and then you eat a steak for dinner, you have now put your body through twice the load that it needs to handle. All right. So now that 1 to 3 days has changed to probably 2 to 6. All right. So now when we look at the digestion process, all right, you kind of wonder why our kids are obese. All right. This is why. I'm gonna get a little bit more into that, the hormones. So the the meat that we eat, I looked it up on this site that I called Food Empowerment Project. All right, they did some research on it. I'm gonna read a few things, and as far as these links and the information that I've been getting, I'll leave you the links in the comment section. The link says, in industrial animal factories, cattle are valued strictly as a commodity. The larger and faster they grow, the more valuable they become to the industry in an effort to maximize growth potential. Breeding is no longer natural, it's scientific. Males selected for breeding are called bulls. Their sperm can be used to artificially inseminate thousands of females. Prior to giving birth, females are called heifers, and after birthing, they are called cows. Let me drop down. Approximately 90% of industrially farmed U.S. cattle have growth hormones added to their feed. The scientific community is concerned that several of the hormones could potentially cause serious health complications in humans. As a result, the European Union has banned the use of growth hormones in domestic beef production, as well as the import of hormone-treated beef. U.S. Secretary of Agriculture Dan Glickman stated, "Even as we remain steadfast in our belief that today's science has deemed beef hormones safe, we also recognize that science is ever evolving." This statement demonstrates that the USDA and FDA are enjoying the short-term benefits of growth hormones while failing to initiate long-term research. So this is basically saying that this is the only country that does not do a fine-tuned screening process on what enters our country, let alone what's within the country already. All right, so they really don't care about what we're putting into our body, just as long as people are getting fed and they have a market to uphold. Okay. In addition to growth hormones, approximately 83% of industrially farmed cattle are treated with antibiotics. The drugs are administered for both therapeutic and non-therapeutic purposes. Therapeutic treatments are given in a preventative manner to keep the animal from becoming ill due to the increased presence of bacteria in their unnatural living conditions. Therapeutic antibiotics also help to keep the animal's immune system artificially boosted as they experience unnatural levels of stress throughout their lives. Non-therapeutic treatments function in a similar manner to growth-promoting hormones. As massive quantities of manure are dispersed as fertilizer, residues from the growth hormones and antibiotics leach from the manure and end up in local streams and lakes. The chemicals can have a devastating effect on freshwater ecology, especially fish and amphibians. All right, so a lot of you fish eaters that like to eat the fish, there you have it. All right, be careful what you're putting into your bodies. Now, the process, the same process of utilizing the hormone and the antibiotic mix, they use the same method on chickens. All right, the process that they use on chickens can take a baby chicken and create a full grown within 49 days. All right, scary. Scary to know that we put this stuff into our bodies and we really don't do the research on it because we come up on it. You know, a lot of us come up on eating chicken. A lot of us come up on eating pork chops. A lot of us come up on eating hamburger helper and, you know, ground beef of any form, hamburgers, whatnot. So it's very important that we start doing this research, and I really want you to feel a certain kind of way about this video. All right, I want you to care about what you put into your body, because right now I feel great just by removing meat out of my body, period. I'm on a no meat challenge, and I'm trying to be on this no meat challenge until the day that I die, till it's not for me, no time for me to be here no more. So I want to get on milk. All right, no other species drinks the milk of a human. So why do we drink the milk of other species? The body of a mother is designed to provide nutrition for the offspring. This is something that we know. All right. Probably never looked at it in those terms before, but it is what it is. Um, you know, goats don't drink human milk. Cows don't drink human milk. You don't see no other animal at the teat of a woman. So why are we eating foods that contain these animals' milk, and why are we drinking the animals' milk? And that's what I was talking about when I was explaining the digestion process and the obesity in the kids, and this the milk also, since the animal is pumped up with these hormones and these antibiotics and these steroids. Even the milk that it produces is gonna promote a growth process. All right, this is why babies are getting bigger, and that's actually the purpose of offspring of the parent drinking the parent's milk, because it is going to promote the growth process. All right, until they're able to have a strong enough stomach to eat solid foods, or, you know, a strong enough stomach to eat the food that will actually break down in their stomach as it's supposed to. So now I'm going to talk about milk. The effects of milk are on children. The cow's milk is the number one cause of food allergies among infants and children, according to the American Gastroenterological Association. All right. Apparently, according to them, it causes food allergies in infants and children. I remember when I was growing up, when I was younger, there wasn't really no such thing as allergies. I mean, you know, I probably seen some people allergic to bee stings, and um, you know, asthma definitely wasn't really a major thing when I was little. But now, you look left and right, you got kids on these sport teams, and all of them got inhalers. You got all these kids with these little EpiPens, you know, ready for a bee sting. Um, you got kids that's allergic to seafood. You got kids that's allergic to wheat. You got kids allergic to all kind of stuff nowadays. What could be the process of it? All right. The effect of milk on adults. A UK study showed that people who suffer from irregular heartbeats, asthma, headaches, fatigue, and digestive problems showed marked and often complete improvements in their health after cutting milk from their diets. This is especially true for people living with inflammatory conditions and autoimmune diseases. And the effect of milk on earth, or producing milk, I guess. In California, America's top milk producing state, manure from dairy farms has poisoned hundreds of square miles of groundwater, rivers, and streams. Each of the more than 1 million cows on the state's dairy farms excretes 18 gallons of manure daily. This is something to think about. This is the stuff that we put into our bodies. All right. I know a lot of people, when you talk to them about their diets, but when you talk to them about religion, it's kind of hard to sway people until you can give them sound evidence, and then you can give them something to work with. They don't have anything to work with if they don't know anything. Okay. I just want to further touch on meat, just to give you something more to think about. This is how I look at it. When I eat ground beef around 7, 8 o'clock, I have a very fast metabolism. So when I eat, I use the bathroom, and that's it. Okay. But notice that when I eat ground beef, I get tired, I get lazy. You know, kind of almost like I'm watching Animal Planet. You see the lion or the leopard or whatever carnivorous animal you watching eating, and they eat, they get full, and they sit there and get lazy. They don't want to move. All right, you probably could walk up to one of them and they probably ain't gonna do nothing to you. So I find myself getting the same way when I eat just red meat, any form of it. Around 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, my stomach, I wake up, my stomach will start hurting real bad. Then I find myself having diarrhea real bad, or I have to throw it up, or I have to force myself to throw it up to get it out because it feels like it's just rotting in my body. So now, outside of everything that I just told you earlier in the video about the effects of meat and the process that they use with the chemicals, it takes 1 to 3 days to digest this meat. Okay, if I eat it every day on a regular, just about imagine how much chemicals is just sitting festering along with the meat that's rotting in my stomach. Okay, what kind of conditions is this exposing me to? What kind of chemical harms is it causing inside of my body? All right, these are the things that we need to learn. These are the things that we need to understand. Know your body. Get into the God body. Peace.